Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Power Up by PNM podcast hour in partnership with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, featuring some of our community's favorite leaders and small business owners. So plug in your favorite device, grab a sack lunch and your favorite beverage, and join us every Tuesday at noon to meet the movers and shakers in our community that are not letting anything hold them back. We are here to inspire you to continue to grow and scale your small business venture. Don't forget to call us at 505-842-9003 for all of your PPE supply needs. And for this podcast and any and all other information about the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, visit us at www.ahcnm.org/chamber chat. We'll give you another minute if you are joining us live.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I can't believe it's already April 20th, and we're alive again for another Powered Up by PNM podcast. And I'm excited to introduce you to our guest. But before I do, a reminder of who I am. My name is Joe Trimble. I am your current chair-elect for the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber, and excited to continue to share more about what's happening in our community. Before I do, let's jump in and talk a little bit about what we have upcoming. So today we'll be meeting Brian Chavez from Intel. He is a factory manager here in New Mexico. And for next week, we'll actually have some other guests. Cynthia Jaramillo will be being interviewed by Casey DeBrigade, and we'll be able to have a chance to really focus in on understanding more about Cynthia's role. So Brian, love to introduce you now to our live streamers here and talk a little bit about who you are. I'm excited first off to have you. I know we were joking, we're in a social environment, but still continuing to keep focused on what's happening around us, but at the same time getting to know each other, which we have a similar objective of serving on our current 2021 Albuquerque Hispano Board of Directors, and also you're a part of our executive committee. So welcome, Brian, and thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Glad to be here. Glad we were able to set this up, like you're saying, following all the social distancing rules and keep it safe, and give me the opportunity to talk about myself and a little bit more about what I'm about.
Absolutely. At this point, we're kind of a year in already. We're getting a little too good at this, I think. But hopefully one day we'll be back to moments where we get to spend more time in person. But I'm glad to meet you, and of course, glad to get to know you a little better today. So for everyone, again, Brian Chavez is works for Intel New Mexico and is a factory manager supporting his team. So Brian, I'd love to just jump right in and talk a little bit about your background. Tell us, how did you get started in your career?
I actually started at Intel in Arizona at Fab 6 when I was still finishing my last year in college. I was waiting tables out there in Arizona. I actually worked for a manager of the restaurant who happened to be from New Mexico as well, and he let me know about an opportunity at Intel, and so I figured while I was finishing out college, why not try Intel on night shift. It was made for a challenging that year working nights and going to school during the days, but introduced me to what ended up being the rest of my career.
Wow.
So that's how I ended up starting out there.
And how many years ago was that?
That was 26 years ago.
Wow. All right.
26 years.
So from one moment in college would really truly define ultimately what you're doing today and for your career. I mean, that's pretty powerful.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so thinking back to those times, I know Intel, there's a wide variety of what you all do. Managing a factory, was that on your list of things as a kid that you wanted to be, or what was on your mind back then?
Yeah, definitely not managing a factory. Now, I did want to be an engineer, which is what I went to college for. And although I wouldn't say that I knew what an engineer was or did, but I would say from a pretty early age I was interested in technology and how things work. And I remember even being in first grade, taking things apart, tape recorder, making a car, electric car out of it, or making flashlights, out of different things, and fortunately my parents were very supportive and would buy me little science kits and things like that. So from an early age I knew that I wanted to be in that kind of field, right? And as I got a little bit older, I decided that that I was going to be an engineer. So
that's great. STEM-related fields, right? I mean, those are very powerful, as we know, throughout education, and there's a lot of opportunities to learn more about STEM-related projects like that. But I love it. Technology, for me, same thing. I always wonder what makes it tick. You took it a step further in that you made that a career. If you could choose a different career, what would you pick?
Probably the medical field, like to be a doctor. In fact, I did my engineering degree in biomedical engineering. That's one of my actual degrees.
I almost said it, so that, yes, definitely.
So I really hadn't intended on going into semiconductor industry or Intel, but like I said, the opportunity presented itself, and I figured I would try it out, and then turns out that I really like doing it, and 26 years later, here I am. So
I mean, we're going to go off a little script here because now I'm curious. How did you choose that as a major? I mean, that sounds very specific. I've known a lot of engineers in my life, never met one that has that focus before.
Just interest. I actually started college as an electrical engineer my first year, and after the first electrical engineering class, I'm like, this really isn't something that I have a lot of passion about, or interest in. And I always did have some interest in the medicine side of things. So the biomedical engineering degree was relatively new 26 years ago. Now and there weren't a lot of universities that were offering it. Arizona State University, which is where I went, happened to be one of them. And so the program was relatively small, but I decided to go into it. But what biomedical engineers do is, depending on your specialty, but they're the engineers who are creating a lot of the equipment that you see in the hospitals, right?
Wow, okay.
Your CAT scanners, ultrasounds, a lot of that technology, artificial organs, valves, all that tech that goes into medicine is done in concert with doctors and biomedical and engineers work on that kind of stuff. You have some that'll focus on biochemical engineering, that maybe work in pharmaceutical industries or other, so there's a lot of different applications out there.
So stating the obvious, it seems like it would be extremely busy the last year or so for you all in this field.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was definitely a pretty challenging year in the field. Now, I'm not in that field now,
of course,
and I never really ultimately went into it, but definitely
But what your passion would have been if you did. But of course, your career today, thinking about being in the tech side of it, still somewhat supports that ultimate vision that you had, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all engineers, it's really about problem solving, innovating, and the different disciplines in engineering really are about how you want to focus that innovation and problem solving. Some choose mechanical engineering, some choose chemical engineering, space, biomedical in my case, electrical, civil engineering. You hear a lot about all the infrastructure needs that our country has, and so there's a place where civil engineers come into play, right? Our environmental engineers, which is actually what my older son's going to school for right now. So.
Very cool. All right, so now it's running in the family. I like it. I like it. All right, well, let's get to know you a little better, and we'll dig into a little bit about you. So talk to us a little bit about the last title of the book you read, or of a book you read, I should say.
Unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time for reading recently, but I do like to read. It's been a while. One of the books I read recently was a book called Flourishing by Maureen Gaffney, and it's a really book about leadership, and is one that I'd read in the past, and I was refreshing some of the material recently for applying at work. Right. I think the great thing about reading is it's one way in which we learn and can always improve ourselves. So that's why I enjoy it. And of course, the other great thing about reading is it's a nice way to get away mentally if you want to, just read some fiction or something else to take your mind off, your everyday life. So.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And, I like what you said. It's one way of learning. And for our listeners who are watching us today, they just learned something through another forum, which is listening to our podcast. And yes, reading seems to be more of a task than it's ever been. Why? I don't know. We're at home more. We're spending more time not out, and you would think we would have more under our belt, but I'm in the same boat as you. But one more time, I think you said the book was Flourishing, right? By, what was the author's name?
Maureen Gaffney.
Maureen Gaffney, all right. Yeah, I like the title alone. It sparks some interest for me, as we think about this whole year and what we've experienced. It's just been a time of growth and really supporting each other, and I see flourishing not only what we've done but what others have done. I have not read it, so I made notes, so I'll make sure to go back. I love finding new books, so thank you for sharing. What advice would you give your 16-year-old self today?
I think probably one thing that I didn't do or regret not doing was trying to study abroad for a year or a semester. I think, probably a couple of reasons for that. One is financially, was just trying to afford college, let alone maybe study abroad. But I think there are ways to do that I was maybe unaware of at the time. But I think it would have been a way to broaden kind of the horizon, get an experience, life experience in a different way. So that's probably one thing I would have really tried to go do. I think the other thing is, when you're at that age, you want to, you're in a rush to finish, to get to the next thing, right? And I think we do that just in life in general. And, when you're in college, you're rushing to graduate so that you can get a job. And, when you're in high school. And I think sometimes you got to think about, okay, sometimes you just need to pause and say, okay, why am I in such a rush for the next thing, right? And for me, that would have been, okay, what would have been the big deal of taking a semester to go maybe learn a language or study abroad or do something to grow myself in a different direction as well. So.
Yeah, when I heard you say, so first off, make sure you explore all options, because the opportunity could be there. And to your point, the opportunity is powerful. I love the learning a language as a component of that. Cultural aspects of just being abroad gives you an advantage. And you said a semester. It definitely, thinking back, a semester wouldn't be a time wasted, right? It would have definitely been a value added.
Yeah, like you say, in hindsight, a semester is a blip in time,
They seem long when we were in class, though, right?
Seem long when you're in school, yeah. And it doesn't have to be abroad. There's a lot of opportunities where you can go, volunteer with a program here in the state or in the country where you can, provide your time to learn a different skill or make an impact on a community or a person or people.
Yeah, even exploring internships. A lot of, I know, organizations are looking at that as a way to find a new and innovative talent. So, absolutely. Well, it's a good segue, because the next question I had for you is helping our viewers learn a little bit more about what makes you tick. What do you believe in? What do you support? You're on the Hispano Chamber, so obviously we know that component. But what else is on your mind?
In terms of what's important to me, family and friends are very important. The community. Yeah,
you mentioned one son, right? Your eldest is studying engineering. Any others?
Yep, I have my younger son he's in college as well, freshman, and they're both up in Colorado. One's at Colorado State University, the other one's at Colorado Mountain College.
Okay.
And he's likely going to go into like a paramedic and or management program. So he's in year one of his schooling, and year one under COVID was kind of interesting for all college students that are starting their first year there. So
perfect. Yeah, that's great. Well, and both already. And how old again?
One of them is 19, the other one is 22.
Very cool. So all right, then you said community?
So community. I'm also on the board of Los Ojos de la Familia, which is a local charity that one of my best friends actually started. And it's probably been over 10 years ago at this point. And the idea there was just to give back. We're both from here in New Mexico, North Valley. Our families are as well. And we've been fortunate enough to do well in our careers, along with some of our other friends and family. So he started that as an opportunity to kind of give back to the community. So I'm an active member of that board. Also, I think just in general, making the world and the environment a better place, something that's important to me. And I think that's probably.
Yeah, those are great causes. I love that you said the North Valley. I actually spent a lot of time there. I grew up and went to Valley High School, so curious, going in the North Valley, where'd you go?
I went to Cibola.
Cibola, all right. So you're on the North Valley-ish, West Side-ish. Yep, good. Yeah, well, great. That's awesome, and I love that you gave a plug for that nonprofit. I think anything we can do to help. What should viewers know about that organization? I'd love for you to give a plug on.
Start out obviously really small and now a little bit bigger of organization, but working on really providing general aid for our community members in need is one thing. We also provide scholarships. We have a first responder program that provides assistance to first responders in need. And so 100% of the funds that we generate or that we're able to get goes back out to the community. So there's no overhead. So every one of the board members and supporting cast, we have an attorney who helps with paperwork, and we have accountants, and everyone 100% donates their time. And that was really important to Michael Montoya, who's also actually a board member now of the chamber. He initially started it, but making sure that 100% went back was important because I think all nonprofits have the best in mind, right? They are trying to do the right thing, but some of them have a lot of overhead too. And and sometimes when you're contributing money, maybe only 50 cents on the dollar might be getting out to the cause, or some other percent, right? And again, I know nonprofits try to strive to really make as much as possible. Most of that money get to the cause. So that was one of the goals, is to try to make it 100% to the community. So.
Well, which means you had to eliminate the overhead. So kudos to the organization for being able to do that.
Yeah.
Now, if our viewers, or if they know someone who is in need and could fit into this space, where can they find you all?
Yeah, so we do have a webpage. You can either go to losojosdelafamilia.org or losojos.org. And information is there on how to go apply for need if you want to apply for a scholarship or want to apply for general aid, or just learn a little more about the organizations out there.
Yep, sounds great. Yeah, awesome job on that. Well, love what you're focused on, Brian. We have a lot in common when it comes to giving back to this community that helped grow who we are today. So why don't we keep going, and we'll dig into a few more concepts. So let's switch gears and think about it from a Hollywood perspective. Since we're in Albuquerque, we've got to have a little fun, right? We've got to liven it up a little bit. If they were to make a movie of your life, what would it be called, and who would play you in that movie?
I guess maybe make every day count for the name of a movie. Something I again try to do, and I'm always working on something. You could ask my dad, my brothers. It's like every day, every afternoon, there's something else I'm doing. So I really do try to make every day count. Playing me, I would probably pick The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
There you go. All right.
And it's because we already share a haircut.
All right.
And I figured that part's out of the way. And then, I wish I had the muscles he did. But we'd pick The Rock to play me. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. And I love the name of it, making every day count. If you haven't learned enough about Brian yet, what you can hear in his voice is that compassion for others, and that making every day count would be a great summary for a good story about yourself. So awesome choice. I like that one. How about favorite TV show? Any that you've recently binged?
Well, probably one of my all-time favorites is Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Haven't watched it recently, but definitely was one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, same here. Definitely something I look back at. Anything on your list right now you've been chomping to watch, or?
With the pandemic and spending a lot of time at home, we're kind of really caught up on TV shows. So, each week we're like, okay, what's coming out next? So.
I know I find myself now actually enjoying that they come out every week, rather than just binge watching. It gives me a little something to look forward to. Yeah. I think I got a little spoiled doing that, and also now don't have a lot to watch. So I agree. So good one.
Generally like science fiction or fantasy type, so.
Awesome. All right. How about favorite music or musical group?
Don't really have a favorite. I probably listen to country the most, but I like a lot of different kinds of music. Country, rock, pop, rap, Latin. So I'll kind of go through my phases. We'll get tired of listening to one thing, and I'll listen to a different style for a while, and then But probably the most consistent. I listen to country probably the most consistently.
All right. Yeah. Whatever that project is, though, but your go-to is country music. All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite rapper?
I don't know that I have a favorite rapper. Yeah.
Who do you listen to the most?
Who do I listen to the most? Probably more some of the old school.
Dropping a bomb.
Yeah. So.
I think we're having some fun here with our soundboard. I'm enjoying these, actually.
Yeah. When I'm working out, I usually throw on some Eminem. That's kind of a go-to for workouts. Roy Jones too. He's got a few tracks
like
there.
The Rock.
Huh?
To get like the Rock.
To get like the Rock. Yeah, still. Yeah, got a long ways to go with that.
Right. Yeah. For everyone that can go to the gym like him, right? That's definitely a dream, but definitely not happening. I'll tell you what. Definitely not happening. All right. So, how about three things, if for our listeners and even for me, getting to know you, what's not known about you that you'd like to share with us?
Gosh, what's not known about me? Well, probably depends who you are.
Yeah, right. Yep.
I was the first in my family to go to college. So that was
Congrats.
Accomplishment, that I was proud of. I mentioned I did, started Intel as a technician on the factory floor, and worked my way up to factory manager. So, that's, kind of starting from the ground up, if you will. Something that I think has helped me be a better factory manager is having that perspective of being a technician as well as being an engineer and being a night shift employee, being a night shift manager. Helps me be more aware of the challenges, or at least some of the challenges of the jobs.
Yeah, we call it worldview, right? So you've seen, you have good insight on a variety of different components. Yeah. Yep. Very good. Any others? None others?
Can't think of anything right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's do some round robins here, just to get the last ones done here. So round robins, one-word answers. We're going to go quick. I'm going to fire some at you, okay? So favorite food?
Chili.
All right. Favorite sports team?
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals. All right. Looking pretty good now anyways, right? It may have been a little hard to say a few years ago, but not anymore.
They have ups and downs.
They do, but they're looking on the upside, right? All right. Google or Bing?
Google.
PC or Mac?
PC.
Favorite superhero?
Oh, but by the way, PC powered by Intel.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I was waiting for the plug. All right. Yeah. And I'll give you a chance to plug Intel again here at the end. So, yeah, very good. Favorite superhero?
I would say Professor Xavier.
Professor Xavier. Good one. Yeah, good one. Educating and helping everyone. Going back to who you are. I like it.
Plus, it has my haircut.
There you go. You already got maybe someone you could play in a movie, right? There you go. There you go. Favorite board game?
Don't know if I have a favorite. I'll throw up Monopoly just.
There you go. And I probably haven't played it on board game style. On my phone or iPad I have, but yeah, no, I feel you. Favorite movie?
Movie, I would say Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, good choice. Favorite beverage?
Gotta love a good beer, micro beer made in New Mexico.
Good. Any place you like to go in particular?
It kind of depends what we're in the mood for. We like Boxing Bear.
Okay.
I tend to like darker beers, so they have a good selection of darker beers. Boxing Bear.
I've been on a dark beer kick too, porter specifically.
Yeah, I like porters.
Good.
I like hitting up Nexus for the chicken.
Love Nexus.
Total Mountain for their pizza.
Oh, West Side, all right. Give where you're at.
That into, working it into.
I was going to say, it's in that area, right? Yeah, I get it.
So, yeah, we like to hit up a lot of the local places. Bosque, I could keep going on and on. We do try to.
Well, for those that he mentioned, good plugs. Mention Brian Chavez next time you go and maybe share this with them. And may love you for it. All right. How about favorite vacation spot?
I think Costa Rica has been one that our family's been able to go to twice, and it's really been a favorite for us and the family.
I bet the scenery. Wow.
Yeah, beautiful country, wonderful people. Yeah, definitely been something that both myself and my family's enjoyed going to.
Great. Best gift you ever received?
My family.
Oh, good answer. I like that one.
Yeah, so.
Very good. Family man. All right. I love it. Best gift you ever gave?
That one I'm going to say advice.
All right. I like that. Dropping bombs of wisdom, those nuggets, those pearls. I think that's important. So good job. All right. Let's see. Favorite car?
A truck.
Truck. Okay. Anyone in particular?
I have a Ford F-150 right now that I've been pretty
Okay.
happy with.
All right.
I've owned Chevy in the past, and it's done well for me too. So.
Well, and I'm a Ford guy, so no jokes. I won't be. I will not be cracking them today. Will not be cracking them today. So, I'm a Ford guy too. So.
What's your dream car then?
My dream car is a truck.
Yep.
You have your dream car?
Same one.
I'm contemplating what I'll get next. I have a 2015 right now, and I'm planning on replacing here in about 2
Those
years.
Ford Raptors.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, they're not too bad. I drive an F-350, so I have one.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I got a couple of years to decide.
There you go.
I'm still a couple of years away from my upgrade. Got to finish paying for this college.
I was going to say, yeah, you got a couple kids in college, so you got to worry about. How about favorite restaurant in town? You plug some microbrews, but anywhere for a good bite to eat?
It depends on the mood. I like Two Fools. Their fish and chips is great. I like, I mentioned Nexus around the
Yep,
chicken.
you did. Chicken.
Tacos at La Reforma.
Okay.
They're off-
Oh, yeah. Definitely a good
those
choice.
Those are good. Yeah, we kind of like to make our rounds depending on the mood.
And if they have a microbrew, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt the scene,
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't
Yep.
hurt,
I
yeah.
love it. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yep. Biggest failure?
The way I look at it is if you learn from it, it's not a failure. So I haven't had one yet.
Okay.
Because
And you've learned from everything. So what he's saying, folks, is it's not a failure unless you haven't learned from something.
yeah, and that's really what I meant by that. I mean, there's definitely
Yep.
a lot of things that maybe haven't gone as I would like to have gone, but you got to learn from it, like you said, and figure out how to do better next time.
Yeah, I
as
think.
long as you do that, I don't look at it as a failure because you've gained something from it.
Yep, I would 100% agree. 100% agree. There you go and dropping those wisdom again. So I love it. How about biggest success?
I would say probably one thing that I'm proud of is that both my boys have grown up to be good people. So that's a success, and I give that credit to my wife as well, right? It's a partnership, and the family, extended family. Having a good set of friends, my parents, their grandparents, aunts and uncles. It's a team effort. In raising our kids. He's always has been, I think always will be, and I think every parent, their goal is that their kids, of course, you want them to be successful, which I'm sure that'll work out as well. But I think what's more important is that you raise good people. And I would say that that's biggest success so far.
Yeah, that's great, and way to plug the wife, right? They definitely are an important piece to that puzzle, and I know that loving relationship will create that bond, and obviously a great job in turning out good human beings. That's the goal. How about biggest life influence?
That one I would say my mom and dad, both, incredible work ethic. Have always been hard workers. When we were younger, many times where they both had more than one job, to support the family, being good role models around being good people, putting both me and my brother through college. So those would be where I would say the biggest influences for me. And continues to be. They both continue to be.
Well, big thank you to your mom and dad for giving the city you. So appreciate that. Favorite chamber program?
I would say, the the training series that you guys have for the small business owners. I think that's one of the things that many small businesses, especially when they're first starting out, don't have access to the resources that big companies, like Intel and yourself at Wells Fargo, we have access to resources to train our folks and know what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it. So I think the chamber providing those training resources for small businesses that otherwise wouldn't have access to that is, I think, really powerful and important.
Yeah, that corporate environment, because the big business aspect can help create some of those different forums. And again, the chamber being able to bring those to a small business is critical to success. I mean,
whether that's how to do procurement, leadership training, accounting practices, just the various series that are out there.
People skills. It's very important aspects. And managing people, definitely a task in its own. So absolutely. Ditto that. All right, last question, and then we'll switch gears to give you a chance to talk about what you do for Intel as we close. But favorite podcast interviewer?
He's interviewing me right now.
I'll take the credit. But it's only my first or second one now. So, all right. But let's go back to the Intel thing, because that's ultimately what gives you the opportunity to what you do today. Thinking about accomplishments at your organization, what have you done to get to this place in your career?
I would say hard work. I mean, that's in any job or career you're in. It's about putting in the work ethic, the effort, taking the right chances, right, trying new things. I mentioned learning. I think, again, no matter what career or business you're in, if you're always trying to learn, always trying to improve, again, which is something I strive to do. I wouldn't say that I'm not perfect at it by no means, but always having that ever improving mindset, I think, has helped me continue to grow with my career at Intel.
And so going back, I mean, obviously Intel has a tremendous brand, and the reputation that they provide, it's always sound when it comes to how they not only create innovative products, but also give back to the community. Thinking from a small business perspective, thinking about those reputation, the brand that you've seen Intel lean into, what advice would you give to a small business owner in that space?
I think it's it's really about, having not just a business plan, but a cultural set of values that you're going to operate to, and using that to guide what you do and how you do it. Because it's not just about what you do, but it's also how you do things. And I think that's one thing that I've been proud of being an employee of Intel, is that we focus on our values. We spend a lot of time talking about those values and what we want our culture to be like within the company, and how we want to get work done.
Yeah, I really believe the cultural aspect of what we do impacts the customer journey. So love that advice, small businesses. If you haven't had a chance to deep dive into culture, you have the chamber who can help support you in understanding how that actually impacts the customer journey that you're trying to provide for your customers. So awesome job, Brian. Everyone, thank you. I hope you had a fun time meeting Mr. Brian Chavez from Intel. It's been a pleasure, sir. I actually enjoyed our time, got to know you better and what makes you tick. And why I like these podcasts is because when we think about what we're wanting to accomplish, there's a lot of commonality in our own personal goals and in what we've done in life. But if we don't talk about it and surround ourselves with others who have a similar mission, we're never going to help this community get to where we want it to be, and that's to be as great as it can, because it's capable of being great. It's been my pleasure. Quick few reminders before I wrap up. We do have some. Oh, go for it, Brian.
One other thing, we do have a report called our RISE report that we recently published, Intel, which is really talks about our strategy around the impact. RISE stands for responsible, inclusive, sustainable, and enabling.
Great.
And so that is available online, and it's specific around our impact here in New Mexico.
Yep.
So if you're kind of curious around, what are some of the programs that we're doing with respect to the environment, hiring, where do we give back to financially, lots of good data out there. So I would encourage you to go take a look if you're interested.
Yeah, definitely. Two big pieces that I know Intel impacts, which is obviously jobs, and then of course that environmental aspect. So great ad, I love it. So the RISE report on Intel. So great, thank you, Mr. Brian. Anything else before we wrap? All right. So a couple key reminders. We do have some great opportunities for you to learn and grow, not only as small business owners, but leaders of this community. What we have available is our City of Albuquerque webinar series. They happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in April, where we get to know all of the city departments and how they can help businesses. And I use the hashtag here, reset, recover, and rebound. And it's the opportunity to continue to deep dive into how we help small businesses thrive. And we also have our next Powered Up. I mentioned it at the beginning. We will be back next week. So a week from today, we'll have 2 new participants sharing more on what they do and how they move and shake in this great city of Albuquerque. And then last but not least, we do have our golf tournament, May 6th. Can't believe it's already May. Blows my mind, but we still have a few teams left, and we still have some hole sponsors. Oh, actually, I'm getting the note we don't, so never mind. But we do have our May 6th golf tournament. I will plug it anyways because I know the entire proceeds from that event go back into education and into the form of scholarships. So a great event, but again, we may not have it this year, but next year you can participate, so keep your eye out. We know that this golf tournament will be a huge hit. And then, as I wrap up, I wanted to thank everyone here at the Chamber. Everything that's happening in this world around us is creating moments where organizations like the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber have a chance to shine. And if you're not a part of this great organization today, I highly recommend that you come out, meet the staff. I know we're not completely open. They will take appointments to meet you. They will go see you. So definitely just pick up the phone or go to our website, which I know we'll plug on our post here. But so achnm.org. ahcnm.org. I almost had it. I knew it. I have it pre-filled on my favorites, so I don't ever type it in. So ahcnm.org. So thank you, everyone, for the time today. Appreciate you all joining us live, and look forward to more of these Powered Up by PNM podcasts. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today for the Power Up by PNM podcast hour in partnership with the Hispano Chamber of Commerce. And again, a big shout out to our sponsor, the folks at PNM, who help keep your businesses energy efficient. Don't forget to join us every Tuesday at noon to hear from those in the community that are moving us forward. And for more information about the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce, call us at 842-9003 or visit us online for more information at www.ahcnm.org. And to replay this podcast, add a /chamber chat.